Hey, what's up, guys? We're here with the animation talk through for my HUD design project. So here we're going to begin in the dormant stage. This stage has a very embryonic feel to me. You know, these elements are kind of floating in stasis in this kind of pod-like feel. I like the idea that everything grows from this center element. And as things are growing out from the center element, the middle starts to spin in a brisk fashion, as if everything on the outside is being spun out from it and it's being kind of flung off. As the HUD grows out from the middle, I want to see these lines start to trace on, starting with the ones closest to the center. And as they grow out towards the edge of the frame, they will build momentum until they eventually lock in and fit all these various pieces. All these other elements, they will start to blink on in a load up like fashion, but still everything is coming from the center. That is the idea to always keep in mind. As we move forward to look at the other modes, a couple of general comments that I have are that I want the movement to feel very organic. As I said, this is in this, especially in this dormant stage, the very embryonic feel. Like there is a very humanistic and an organic element to it. I like the idea of any kind of additional elements in the main UI as they pop on, that they kind of come in from Z space, whether it be coming from behind the HUD or from in front. And then later, as we see the larger windows as they appear, I like the idea of those coming in from the outside or from Z space, and they kind of clamp on to the existing HUD that's already here, as if they were expansions and additional elements that are giving more feel and features to the HUD itself. Um, I, so I like the idea of this HUD feeling infinitely spaced. There's a certain roundness to it. I want it to feel like there is no container, and that the pilot is able to see around them in a 360-degree fashion. There's no limitations to what they could sense and see around them. So next we'll move on to the flight mode. And in this mode, I'd like to see the elements start to if there's any kind of light animation or any kind of movement, they're in this sort of outwards fashion. As right now in this stage, we're focusing on letting the pilot see the visibility of what's behind everything that's displaying information, as it's most important for them to see what's out there for them to be able to get around. The Probably the largest movement that's going to happen in this scene is from the pitch and yaw, as it starts to teeter back and forth as the pilot is moving around. From there, we will move on to the battle stage, and in this stage, first off, the pitch and yaw will begin to slow down, or they will stop movement altogether. This includes any kind of other animated properties that have any sort of rotation to them. In this stage, since we're focusing on this back on the center of the target that's in question of how do we attack this person effectively, I want everything to start feeding back in towards the center, as this is where the focus is now being drawn again. And then from there, we will move on to the last stage of the alert stage. And in this stage, there's a certain bloodlust to it. There's all this red. The pilot's vision is filled with blood or anger, fear, whatever it may be. And so in this moment, there's a certain franticness to it. All these smaller light-based elements will start to blink in a quick fashion, and the windows themselves, these larger pieces, will also sort of pulse. However, they will be slower since they're larger pieces, and I want their movement to be more impactful. There will be a larger hit as it comes and hits the screen or bounces from the screen. I want this, the kind of contrast in speeds of the jitteriness or the glitchiness or what have you, so that it increases the depth of that sensation. So yeah, that is my talk through for my HUD design project, and thanks for listening.